This week's Parshat Shelach is probably one of the most fascinating parshiot in the entire Chumash. It has within it one of the most mind-blowing stories, which is the story of the spies. Okay? Basically, when I look at the story of the spies, I'm left with a question that I think everybody has to ask themselves. It almost seems insane what's going on. The Jewish people in Egypt experienced miracles, 10 plagues against their enemies. Okay? The Yetziat Mitzrayim itself was incredible. The splitting of the sea, the idea of a pillar of fire and a cloud by day and a fire by night, the experience of Matan Torah, the heavens opened up. The miracles that followed them in the desert, they lived in a walled-off Astoria in the desert. Their clothing was pressed for them, the ground was smoothened for them. They had everything. They had food from heaven. Can you imagine? Food from heaven. They were angelic. They had miracles that they saw on a constant basis. Hashem showed them that I'm here and I'm with you. Hashem left all the worlds, all the upper worlds, and said, I choose to be with you in the desert. You, my people. The love he showed us, the strength he showed us, the protection. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. We hear the stories and it's almost like it's impossible, but it happened. So the question is this. We saw unbelievable miracles, including this unbelievable 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week miracle that Hashem never leaves us. How could it be that when we're asked to go into Israel now, finally, it's in the end of the second year, we get all nervous. Well, I don't know. Who's there? Are the people strong? How are we going to attack them? Why are we full of doubt? Why are we full of questions? It doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense. After what we experienced for 2 years, plus the whole time we were in the desert, we should be saying, in Egypt, we should be saying, what's the difference? Hashem will take care of it. So where was our faith? Where was our emunah? How did we give up hope on God after all he showed us? It doesn't make any sense. It's a non-starter. You can't get past this. It's like the question of the entire Chumash, in my opinion. Okay. With that said, let's go look at the story. You're going to see it even gets crazier than this. So in the story, after we ask to go check out the land, so Moshe picks, we pick 12 leaders and we send them in, and they come in, they go in, they look at the land, they come back. 10 of the 12 leaders, we're talking about 10 of the greatest tzaddikim, 10 of the most righteous, spiritually strong leaders, the people that were responsible for all of Israel, 10 of them, 10 of the best, 10 of our best, come back, weakened, brokenhearted, with no faith, and tell the entire Jewish people, we can't do it. We can't do it. They are stronger than us. They are chazak mimenu. They are stronger than us. We can't do it. Right? Our greatest warriors, our greatest leaders gave up hope. So what do you think everyone's going to do? They're going to give up hope. What did they say? The words were, the people in Canaan, are too strong for us. So why didn't there was no one there that had any sense? No one there. They all ate the same grain that we talked about. They all went a bit meshugana. Nobody had any sense. I bet and someone is going to answer the question. What would you have answered? What could we have answered these 10 leaders? What could Kalev or even Yoshua answer? What's the obvious answer? Listen, we went there. We saw the land. They're giants. They're too strong for us. We can't beat them. What's the obvious answer?
But we have God.
Exactly. So what? God can. I mean, what's going on over here? Okay, we can't do it. Well, what did we do till now? Nothing. So God will do it. It doesn't make any sense. What kind of an argument did they present? And what did the people do? The entire Jewish nation that all witnessed everything I explained to you and more. What did they answer? They cried like babies all night till Hashem said, this is the day you're going to cry forever. They cried and gave up hope and believed it. Were they the biggest fools in the world? Here's a new insight that I'm not sure if you all know. The rabbis pick up on this. A beautiful hidden lesson here in the dialogue between these 10 leaders and the people, and of course Yoshua and Kalev are going to come in a moment. And it's this. The word chazak mimenu means stronger than us. Right? Mimenu. Mimenu means us. Stronger than us. The word mimenu also can mean, grammatically, him. Stronger than us or stronger than him? And the rabbis say what these 10 leaders really meant was not that these people in Canaan are stronger than us. They were telling the Jewish people they are stronger than him. Capital, him. They are stronger than God. In the language of the sages, that God's not able to get rid of them. They're so strong that even God won't be able to get rid of them. Now this, if we were talking about insanity until now, we have to come up with a new definition. What were they saying? They actually said, according to this Chazal in the Gemara, that they are, the people in the land, are chazak mimenu, stronger than him. And what did the people say? Didn't say, you guys are crazy. What are you talking about stronger than him? Nobody's stronger than him. Right? No. They cried, and that was the end of it. They all gave up hope. So we're stuck. I don't know if there's a solution to such a problem. How do we resolve? How do we even begin to understand that the nation that saw God face to face, Moshe saw face to face, but God opened up the heavens and showed the entire people, here I am, I'm real, I'm here, and I'll never leave you. How could they buy this from these 10 leaders? How could these 10 leaders, 10 of the greatest Jewish people alive at the time, come and say that they're stronger than God? And how could the people buy it and cry and give up? And we're stuck now for 40 more years in the desert, 37 more years in the desert. How? If we look closely at the Jewish story till this point, we see a lot of things happening. A lot of amazing, unbelievable, miraculous things. One question I want to throw out there. At this point in the story, what have we done? Imagine you go to a game, a sports game. Hockey, people, I don't like hockey either. People love hockey. A lot of running around, a lot of boom, boom. Action, right? Yeah. Football, a lot of action. Basketball, oh my gosh. No wonder why they get $50 million. But basically, what do you do at a basketball game? You just sit there. You sit back and you watch. And that's it. You get fatter and fatter. You watch everybody flying around and you do nothing. Yeah. What did the Jews do from the moment Hashem showed up in Egypt till this point now that they have to go into Israel? What did the Jews do? They had matzah on Pesach.
Hashem held their hand the whole time.
That's it. They sat back and watched Hashem do miracles. That was all they experienced to this point. What did they do? Nothing. I'm not insulting them. They weren't asking anything. They didn't do anything. Hashem did everything. The Torah even says it. The Torah says, Hashem tells the Jews through Moshe, you guys stand back and watch. I'm going to fight for you. At Kriyat Yam Suf, Hashem actually says, don't do nothing. You stand back on the side. I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to do it for you. And that's what Hashem did the whole time. It says he carried us like on the wings of an eagle. He took care of us. He carried us. He did everything for us. It was all Hashem. We were passive. We did nothing. What were the Jews expecting now? What did they think was lying ahead for them? Okay, it brings us back to the beginning of the story. Why did they want to go spy out the land? Why did they spy out? What were they looking to see? What were they evaluating? You see from the entire dialogue, they were evaluating how they should proceed with a military attack. So you see something different over here. See, until now, they did nothing. Now, they understand they're going into a country and they're going to have to take over that country. They're going to have to fight military battles against each of these nations and conquer Israel. Conquer Canaan and turn it into Israel. This is something new. This is something that the Jews never were asked to do yet. This is not part of their story yet. It's a new thing. Now we can hopefully appreciate and bring an answer to our question. If Hashem said, guys, sit back, relax, I'm going to send a ball of fire, it's going to wipe out all your enemies, and then go in and live happily ever after, would we have been afraid?
No.
Of course not. But that's not what was said. Whether it was true or not, at least we see that they were under the impression that they were going to have to go in with weapons, with their bare hands, with their energy, with their courage, and fight a people that were more numerous than them, stronger than them, better trained in military, fortified cities. Now that's intimidating. I don't care how much faith you have. If you are thrown in one of these very intense jails and you find out that 20 guys want a piece of you, I don't know what kind of faith you have. How are you going to deal with that? You're not going to deal with it. You're going to cry like a baby. It's not easy to face, okay? So no matter what you do, we could talk all day and theorize, and how could the Jews not have it? if we were in their shoes, we would have been very afraid. Okay, so, and that's the answer. The answer is ultimately, they were being asked to do something new. They were being asked to go in and fight on their own for this victory. And that's scary. And now we can start to appreciate the dialogue between them. And it works like this. When they said that they are chazak mimenu, that the people in there are stronger than him and us, so the whole thing doesn't make any sense, right? On a basic level, if we understand both of the interpretations, we still get stuck. They're stronger than us, great, but we have Hashem. No, they're stronger than Hashem also. So if they're stronger than Hashem, what are you talking about us for? If they're stronger than Hashem, then I'm stronger than us. So the answer lies in the method of teaching that this is. This is a special method of teaching that tells me, don't read the word that's written, but rather read an alternative word. And we have to appreciate what that means. And that's what's going on here. The Torah is saying something deep. It's hiding something from us, but it wants to show it to us ultimately. And it's saying like this. If you read the regular story, it's simple. The people, the spies, these 10 leaders said that the people of Canaan are stronger than us. And that's normal. But it's written, and don't read it us, read it him. They really were saying that the people of Canaan are stronger than God. Okay? And that's the problem that we had. But now we can appreciate what's going on. They weren't saying that the people of Canaan were stronger than God by himself. What they were saying is this. If you put the two words together, they were saying that the people of Canaan are stronger than God and us together. That's what they were saying. That's also problematic. Right? So what does that mean? It means this. For God to do his will through me is something interesting to try to understand. Am I a vessel for God to do what he wants in this world? Yeah. Or am I going to get in the way? This is a different discussion entirely. God was asking of them a new level of emunah. What's the highest level of faith in God? Is it to believe that God can throw a ball of fire and destroy them? That's beautiful and amazing and powerful. But there's a higher level of belief in God. Belief in that God works together with me, us. The idea that God works through us and together, us and God are going to make it happen is a much bigger miracle, much more difficult thing for us to deal with. Why? Because we have to come. We have to come with everything we have to be worthy of Hashem to use us and work through us. And so that's what they didn't believe. When the spies said that the people there, this battle, this thing, this obstacle in front of us is stronger, mimenu, it's stronger than us and him. It's stronger than the him that's going to come through us. They didn't believe in reaching the level of divine providence that they would become a vessel for the divine will to be expressed in the world. They didn't believe that level. They had to pick up the sword. They had to have the military plan. They had to do all of the details. They had to physically do it. But God would empower them in an unbelievable, miraculous way that they would conquer all their enemies. That was what they weren't ready to deal with. And now the whole story makes sense. Everything that was so insane and difficult now makes perfect sense. This is the first time they were being asked to get off that chair. Stop watching the game and get up and not go be Michael Jordan. Go play. Go play. Go do it. We are not spectators, we're players. The game of life, we're players. If we're forever spectators, then we didn't even live. We watched someone else's life. We have to get up and play and make it happen. And who helps us make it happen? When we do that, Hashem helps us make it happen. That's the emunah. That's the secret emunah of the Jewish people. You go do it, and I'm with you. Don't be afraid. I'm with you. And if we can conquer those fears and realize Hashem is with us, then we actually bring him with us. We help cause Hashem's power to be manifest in the world through us. And that's why they failed. And that's why they gave up. They did not believe that they could do that. And unfortunately, the story ends with 37 more years in the desert. Till they finally now have a chance, after they strengthened themselves for 37 more years, to go in and do that, exactly that in Israel. And they did that on some level. But there's an interesting hidden story here, and with this we're going to conclude the lesson. There's a fascinating teaching from the sages that connects the Jews in the desert that left Egypt to the Jews of Shushan during the time of Purim. And the Purim Megillah, in fact, says that in the days of Shushan, they completed and fulfilled what they started when they left Egypt, what they started at Mount Sinai in the desert. What does that mean? So in my opinion, this is what it means. It means that fight that they weren't ready to do in the time of in the desert, that they weren't ready to face the Canaanites and fight them, believing that Hashem would be with them. When did you see that happen? The Purim story. In the Purim story, they had to fight this obscure war at the end. They had to fight their enemies physically with knives, with fighting physically, outnumbered, outstrengthed, and they had to fight them. Why? Why didn't Hashem just come and save the day? So the story is this. In a time of absolute darkness, where Hashem did not show us any miracles, 0 miracles, He did not even show us that He was there. We could have concluded that He's gone. He gave up on us because we're in exile and we sinned. And we had to muster up the courage and the faith to face these enemies because we said we're going to die as Jews rather than live as non-Jews. We faced death and we had the courage to fight this war. And we strengthened our emunah and we believed that Hashem would be with us even though we had no reason to. And you know what the result was of that war? It's an unbelievable thing. The Al-Shach brings it and others. We fought a war against our enemies in the end of Purim and not one Jew was even hurt. Not one Jew died, yet we killed all of our enemies. It's something that's impossible. This is an impossible result, the way they fought a war back then. Impossible. It's not considered an open miracle because Hashem did not send a ball of fire, but it is an open miracle. You know why? Because when a weak people that don't know what they're doing in war defeat their entire enemy and not one Jew gets hurt, that's an open miracle. It's a closed open miracle. That's what we accomplished at Purim. And that is the culmination of what we started when we left Egypt and what we were not able to do. When the spies went in, they were supposed to come back and say, you know what, we can't do it, but we're going to do it anyway. And we would have. That's what they should have said. That's what the Jewish people should have said back to them. But they didn't. But when did they do it? In the Purim story. In the Purim story, they went out and it was 100% that they were going to be annihilated. And they won and annihilated 100% of their enemies. And not one Jew got hurt. That's the culmination and the fulfillment and the kiyum of everything. The whole story of creation and of life is a story of emunah. And in the end of the Purim story, we reach the highest level of emunah. That this world is only a paper bag that you can crush in a second. It's all Hashem. It's all Hashem. If we're with Hashem and Hashem is with us, then we can do anything. And that is the secret. That's what's kept us here till now, because we have not let go of Hashem, and certainly Hashem will never let go of us. And that is what's going to bring us to the end of our wonderful, wonderful story with unbelievable miracles, because we are the miracle people.